Hey guys, it's Windham, that filthy casual, back. IMDb's 250 best films of all time. Today we're doing The Godfather. Yep, I know. How have I not seen The Godfather? Well, okay, I grew up in a really conservative household where I wasn't allowed to watch movies like that when I was little, okay? So now that I'm an adult, I'm making up for lost time. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola. And honestly, he went on to be pretty successful, but his most successful period was actually the time when this movie was made, which this movie was made in 1972. So the 70s were kind of his golden period. After the 70s, he never really had a hit again as big as the Godfather series was. Now, we know that The Godfather has a sequel, Godfather Part 2, Godfather Part 3. I'm pretty sure Part 2 is on this list as well, so I'll be talking about that relatively soon. But honestly, this movie won 3 Oscars. This movie actually won 3 Oscars. Best Adapted Screenplay, because it was originally a novel, Best Actor, as well as Best Picture. So we know that it was like the bomb for forever, especially the bomb when it comes to movies about crime and movies about the mob. We have people that just absolutely love it. Anyway, so I would say as far as acting goes, I'm going to talk about 3 of the actors, just because, well, first of all, I'm going to talk about Al Pacino. I mean, honestly, he was perfect. I feel like you could stare into his eyes and just kind of like, he bores into your soul, and it was perfect for this role. Like, every second I completely believed it. Now, Marlon Brando, which I think the crazy thing is he looks nothing like his character. They actually stuffed cotton in his gums to give him that face, and then they ended up adding like 20 years worth of makeup onto his face to make him look older. It was completely convincing. Amazing. And then I'm also going to talk about Diane Keaton. For some reason, I cannot get away from Diane Keaton. She's everywhere, and I'm not a big fan of Diane Keaton. I understand that she's brilliant and has accomplished so many things as far as females go in the entertainment industry, but for some reason, I've never been able to get into Diane Keaton, especially her combination with Woody Allen. I just can't get into it. So for some reason, Diane Keaton's chasing me around. Go away, Diane Keaton. Seriously. But anyway, casting top notch. There was nobody that was really a mistake. It was all brilliant. Now, plot. This is going to be the most intense thing, just because the plot is what sells this movie. It's basically about a crime family, the Corleones, and it starts off with the famous scene at the wedding. "You'll come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding." And you basically see the inner workings of this family. It's explained a little bit through something that doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with the plot, just for you to get how they work. There's a wedding, this family's involved, people are asking favors from this big crime family, and you see this son who's kind of on the outskirts, and it's Michael, played by Al Pacino, and he's kind of discussing his family with Diane Keaton's character, who's his girlfriend, and you find out a little bit, you find out this family's not like other families. It's very much about honor, code, and they're dangerous, and they're scary, and you don't mess with them. And it goes a little bit further for the famous horse head in the bed scene, because someone doesn't want to listen to what they're trying to say, which just doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the plot itself as it moves further along, but it's more for the shock factor for you to go, oh my gosh, these guys really mean business. And anyway, this family comes along and they offer Corleone, they say, "We want you to join our drug ring," basically. And Corleone is kind of like, "I have too many political contacts. My money is too clean, and I am too much rolled up in this system where I need these contacts for me to be involved in your dirty schemes when it comes to drugs. No, I'm sorry." But anyway, by turning this guy down, this guy decides to kill Corleone. So they basically try to shoot him, but he survives. But while he's in the hospital, his sons are put in charge of not only avenging the attempt on his life, but also running the family business. And the 2 older brothers are Al Pacino, Michael and his brother Sonny. Now, when this kind of happens, Michael gets drawn further into this family. You're watching him kind of, at first he didn't want to be like his dad, and he's slowly, through having to take over because of his dad, he's slowly getting pulled back in. And another attempt is made on his dad's life, and you realize that the cops are involved and the cops are being paid off by these mob families. And it starts this really big feud. And honestly, a scene here that really kind of got me into the movie. I mean, it was already good to begin with, but I was kind of like, okay. What really got me was the hospital scene when Michael has to move his dad's bed and move his dad's room. For me, I was just watching at the edge of my seat like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? For some reason that just got me, where he's like, put your hand in your pocket and act like you have a gun, and they pull up the collar. That to me was like, mind blown. It was crazy good. It had me at the edge of my seat. Anyway, so then Al Pacino decides that he's gonna kill these people, and he does. He meets them in a restaurant and he shoots them, and this I don't understand. They give him a gun that they say is fingerprint proof because of the tape along the trigger and, you know, the butt of the gun. And then he puts his hands all over the other parts. Like, he puts his thumbs all over it. Do fingerprints not stick to that? Let me know. Like, if you know anything about guns, tell me in the comments if the places where he does touch the gun, if fingerprints do not, like, attract to those parts of the gun. Because I thought it was really stupid for him to, like, have his hands all over the places with no tape. It didn't make any sense to me. Unless they were going to clean it again before they planted it. I don't know. But anyway, so big feud comes out, and it basically becomes unsafe for them to remain where they are. Now, Sonny, he kind of has this subplot going on because Connie, their sister that got married to Carlo, has been abused by Carlo, basically. Sonny goes, beats up Carlo, says, if you ever hit her again, I'm gonna kill you. He does hit her again. Sonny's on his way to go teach him a lesson, and then he's ambushed and killed, basically. Michael ends up going to Sicily, hiding out, falling in love with the girl there, which I think is sorry for Diane Keaton, who the entire time we watch her and she's just like wishing for Michael to come home, wondering where the crap he is. So he goes off to Sicily, marries this random woman, who then is killed by a car bomb. It's really sad. She's killed by a car bomb that was originally intended for Michael. So then Michael has to mourn the loss of his wife, etc. And that's pretty sad. But anyway, the dad, Corleone, is doing better, and he basically goes to the 5 families, the big mob families in the area, and he's like, I want a truce, I'm tired of sons dying, and I want my son to be able to come home. So they kind of have a temporary truce going on. Michael's able to come home, and then his dad has a heart attack. Michael takes over the family business, of course, and he really resumes this role of being the head of this mob, even though he was so against it the rest of the time, which I just think is interesting and fascinating, that it takes losing people for him to really come into his own and go fill his dad's shoes, but not just fill his dad's shoes, but do his dad's job in a greater and more terrifying way. Like, when I say great, I don't necessarily mean great in a positive way. It's scary, but it's impressive. And there you find out about some betrayal. He's named the Godfather of Connie and Carlo's new child. He finds out that Carlo did have something to do with Sonny's death, and there's this huge big scene at the christening of their child where Michael's assassins go and kill all the people that have betrayed them, and then Carlo ends up being killed. Connie is all like, you killed my husband. And Michael's like, no, I didn't, even though we kind of all know that he did. And in the meantime, since Michael came home, he married Diane Keaton, which I just think is sad because it means that he went off and fell in love with someone else and then came back and was like, sloppy seconds, I guess. I'll come back to you even though I left you before, which to me is just sad. But it's also going to be interesting because Diane Keaton's character is in the sequel, resuming the role of Michael's wife. So that's going to be really interesting, I think. But Diane Keaton is like, did you kill him? And Michael's like, no. But then you see the other men in the mob calling him Don Corleone, which is basically referencing him as the man that killed Carlo and all those people. And Diane Keaton is sitting there listening to this, and then the door kind of closes, and then it's just over, and you're sitting there like, well, Diane Keaton, you're screwed as far as having a clean family. So anyway, plot was super fantastic. The only problem was there were so many people and names and places, it was kind of hard to keep up with, as well as action. There was like a big scene, and then there would be a lot of nothing, and then a big scene, and then a lot of nothing and a big scene. So there wasn't a lot of like action throughout it to really keep you like excited at the edge of your seat. So you really had to be paying attention because there were so many characters. So that's what I would say would be kind of annoying, is like the length and just how complex the plot really was whenever you got down to it. Now, overall it was really good. Scoring was amazing, casting was amazing, director's vision was amazing, and what I thought was really cool was how the son originally wanted nothing to do with his dad's business, and then all of a sudden he's in his dad's business and he's doing kind of a better, more terrifying job at it, which for me was just like, whoa. At the end of the day, I thought that was the best part. Anyway, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Just because I really felt like it lived up to the hype, and I really felt like it was extremely impressive, especially for its day. I thought the way that it was made was impressive. Overall tone, a lot of parts were kind of dark, so it was kind of hard to tell what was going on, but I understand it was the 70s. So, I mean, I thought that it was really well made. There wasn't a lot of overacting, which you have with a lot of these older movies, which to me is distracting, even though I understand that's how it was done. So, I could appreciate that. Yeah. So that's it as far as it goes. 8 out of 10, definitely recommended it. I would definitely recommend it. I'm looking forward to doing another one. Anyway, in the next few weeks, be on the lookout. I'm going to link some channels down below for you guys to subscribe to. Renegades React and Renegades Faction. And I'm going to link those guys. I'm giving them a shout out right now. Hopefully sometime in October, I'm going to go get to join them. And we're gonna do like a video together of us reacting to something or sitting and talking about something. So I'm really excited because their channel's pretty impressive, and I think that you guys would really like them. They talk about a bunch of different subjects, and I've known some of the guys on that channel for years. So I'm really excited to make a trip and go down there. But anyway, be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, hopefully I'll have a schedule down pat where I'll start releasing one of these like every week, even if it's not a movie review. Hopefully I'll be able to release at least something every week. Anyway, it might be something where I shoot Monday, edit Tuesday, and then release on Wednesday. So be on the lookout to see when that day is gonna happen. So anyway, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and I also have a Facebook page. So it's Windham, that filthy casual, and I'll see you guys next time.